Willcox MP is a born and bred North Queenslander, previous mayor of the Whitsundays. Not a bad place to be a mayor of, let me tell you that. Andrew is a third generation tomato farmer and small business owner willing to back local farmers and fishers, mine workers, tourism operators, small business owners, retirees and local families that make up his electorate. Andrew's portfolio is under the spotlight as Australia has been hit by the Iranian crisis and years of policy failure. First of all, Andrew, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much for the opportunity, Mike.
Tell me first of all about your portfolio.
So I'm the Shadow Assistant Minister for Manufacturing and Sovereign Capability. So what that's about is being able to, the sovereign capability in particular, is being about Australia doing more for itself and not being reliant on other countries. And of course the manufacturing is manufacturing more things in Australia rather than relying on our overseas imports.
Can you tell me what the primary needs of your electorate are and the great variety of small businesses from farming to tourism and fishing, and tell us about the makeup of it?
Yeah, so it's a dynamic area. So I've got the largest cane growing area within Australia. So we've got cane grown right from the south right up to the north of my electorate. We've got a huge horticultural crop in Bowen, over $500 million there, and that becomes the winter salad bowl of Australia. So harvesting between May to Melbourne Cup Day, or early November, and feeding the whole of the nation and exporting quite a lot. And in the manufacturing side, we've got a huge area in Pageant, just around the Mackay area, which services the Bowen Basin just over the hill. So I don't have any mine. Actually, only got a little bit of gold mining, no coal in my electorate, but a huge service centre. And then the other part of manufacturing up the north, in Townsville at Woolgaroo, we've got Woolgaroo Steel, and they're actually building rail carriages and flatbeds for actually to provide service to the mining sector.
What about this fuel crisis? It's a real killer for it places a lot of. When I say killer, I mean it's a slow death at the moment, and it will ramp up very quickly unless the government can come up with some solutions. Tell me about Townsville. How's it handling lack of diesel and also just fuel?
So far we haven't actually run out, so that's been a good thing, but it's very, very expensive. And the biggest issue that we have in rural and regional Australia is everything revolves around transport. We don't have the 50-cent fares where you can just jump on a tram or jump on a bus or anything like that. We've actually got to drive around the place in cars. So, and everything, all our supplies come up from the city via trucks or via trains, again, burning diesel most of the time. And that's how all our farmers get their produce to market. So diesel in particular, more than unleaded fuel, is what keeps the country going up here.
You released some stats, wasn't too far back. According to the Australian Energy Regulator, 37,122 households in Queensland were unable to pay their power bills over the period of October to December 2025. This surely is a wake-up call for government that some of their policies aren't working that well at the moment. And secondly, if you have that many households unable to pay the bill for just electricity or gas, it means that we are in a lot of trouble, doesn't it?
It's alarming, Mike. So, fortunately Ergon is doing some deals and being receptive to some of the people as good as what they possibly can be. But, power prices have gone up nearly 40%. So it's not just the generation of the electron that's the issue, it's also the distribution and the transport charges of it. So people are seeing huge increases of the bill, and it's not sustainable. It's actually making it very difficult for manufacturing as well. So we've got copper in our area. I've got the copper smelter, which is not actually in my country, it's out in Mount Isa, but I've got the refining in my region. And if we lose copper, copper is so important for our Defence Force, it's so important for our construction industry. There's a lot of copper used around houses and that as well. So I'm pleased that the Christopher Foley government helped do a bailout our smelter, but we really need to make sure all our industries are sustainable.
Even looking at nationally, what about this figure? 230,000 households in energy distress. That's an increase of nearly 70% in just 3.5 years. Now, that's the highest level of hardship on record. What do we do? What do we need to do federally to fix it?
One of the most important things that we need to do, like Labor's reckless race to renewables, is clearly not working. So we need to scrap net zero, which is what we're going to do. The coalition has got a cheaper, better, fairer plan to make sure that we can have electrons produced cheaper, but then also that we're not going to have the distribution costs. So let's talk about that. We're not against renewables. We're prepared to do our bit, but renewables should be on rooftops or over the top of Woolies or Coles or on top of airport car parks where you get the generation as well as you get the shade. They shouldn't be in good quality agricultural land. Wind turbines shouldn't be used where you've actually got to wipe out native vegetation to put wind turbines in that area. Put them where they're suitable. Put them also near where they're close to the grid. We're also agnostic to what sort of generation there is. So we're going to keep the coal-fired power stations going longer. Still going to do our bit for emissions, but we're going to do it in line with what all the other OECD countries are going to do, not be double what we are now.
Yeah, you mentioned wind turbines, put them where they best be. As a suggestion, I don't know whether this is scurrilous on my part, I would suggest about 100 kilometres out and then with some big sinkers around them and just drop them. That would work really well. But I'm not ever suggesting that we should vandalise those big monstrosities. But if you look at your area, though, your area have got all these turbines on the Great Dividing Range. And you're just, well, not you, but the developers are just bulldozing, destroying the Great Dividing Range, plonking these great windmills up. What happens when you have a fire? You can't.
Well, a lot of that's just in from me. That's just outside my area. There's one that is proposed to be within my area coming. We really need to have a look at that as well, because when you have a look at the whole equalisation's cost of energy, I don't know that wind turbines really stack up. So I think the other thing, when you have a look at all the different pictures of them, you have the wind turbine, but no one actually shows where everything's connected up. You've got to have, they all need to be connected up and then connected to the grid. And under Labor's ideology, with their new things, reckless race to renewables, they're looking at 28,000 kilometres of extra poles and wires. And when you have a look at your power bill, Mike, about half of it's in generation and half of it's in distribution network charges. So if we keep going down this track and the country keeps going down this track, people are going to be paying that high network charges forever, and I don't think that's sustainable.
I mean, your whole area, when they put because I'm very concerned about what they're doing with these turbines or renewable energy, and you are right, put it in a place where it's not going to impact the natural wildlife and fauna. But if you put a turbine on top of your, a whole bunch of turbines, wind turbines on top of the Great Dividing Range, first of all, you have to clear it. Then within 400 metres either side, the animals, the wildlife can't exist because they can't stand the some sort of noise that's emitted from the turbines themselves. So you got a kilometre basically straight through the Great Dividing Range. In the meantime, animals are dying. Once you destroy the Great Dividing Range, it's very hard to bring it back. You have a bushfire because they're so tall. You can't use air support to put those fires out. Now you know how bushy it is. How the hell are the ground crews going to get up there? They can't. So what you have is you have this, and bushfires are part of Australia's history. But don't have a bushfire, you're not in Australia. But you if you can't put them out, and that's what's going to happen. The Great Dividing Range and those close by are in terrible peril.
Exactly right, and also the erosion as well. So once that hilltop has been levelled, and then you get rain and everything on that, then that runs out, and some of that dirt could end up out the Great Barrier Reef, smothering our beautiful coral, and we certainly don't want that either. So, massive issues with the wind turbines, and like I said, solar has got to be in the right place.
Australians are pretty easygoing folk. I mean, not so much now, but she'll be right, mate. Let's have a beer. Who do you feel on the footy? Better say the right team, by the way. All that sort of stuff. Now, and when it came to the increasing cost of energy or electricity, we sort of went, a bit of a whinge about it, but all right, better lump it. Why are we not so involved as a population in saying we demand government look after us, bring the bloody price down, stop these renewables, look at our coal-fired power stations, even look at nuclear power. It's as safe as anything, safer than wind turbines.
Well, I think that's the trouble. I think a lot of Australia has just gone, oh, okay, listening to government, but they've been sold a dream here. Like, the reality of it is it's simply not working, and you can see that by the bills that people have. And we see the energy minister get up there almost every day and say we all know renewables is the cheapest form of energy. But if that's the case, Mike, why are our power bills going up so much? Why is everything going through the roof? It doesn't make sense. So I think it's time that we make sure that we've got reality and not ideology. A lot of people have just gone, oh, okay, this is really good for the environment. But it hasn't been good for the environment either. Actually, if you have a look at the emissions, 90% of the emissions that have been reduced since Labor has taken place has been by shutting up agricultural land. Now, that's a fact. So, and by shutting it up, people think, oh, that's really good. But it's not good, because what happens with all that land, it just builds up pests and diseases. And the pests and diseases, they don't get the memo. The pigs don't know, oh no, I've got to stay on this side of the fence. So then they go through and then they wreck the neighbours, or they wreck all the farmers' good vegetables and crops. And same as all the weeds that build up, all their seeds and everything, fly next door, go into the farmers' areas, the grazers' areas, and become a big problem. So locking up ground rather than actually managing it is not a success story that people think it is.
Yeah, pretty wild. Let me just read you this story before we go on and get your thoughts on that. This is how stupid government is. Farmers, they require water. A bit out of your area, but I read it before. New South Wales, or Northern New South Wales irrigators have been banned from harvesting water until September after the Menindee Lake storage levels fell below a new 250. It's a new 250 gigalitre trigger imposed by the state government. If you were a farmer, what would you do? I mean, we can't. I was told off for saying that perhaps my dad's remedy, because he was on the land of a 12 gauge, but I was told perhaps I shouldn't be saying that because they may take it that I'm inciting violence, and I'm not. But the farmer is getting the bum steer, isn't he?
Oh, exactly right. But interesting enough, to the first election that I contested, which was 22, we took forward a plan to have for Urena Dam. That was funded, and over half of it was funded by the private sector, all ready to go. And unfortunately, Labor came in and they canned that, and they canned it because they don't believe in building dams. Now, when you've got a dry continent, why wouldn't you want to build a dam? And Urena Dam was going to provide water for mining use, for urban use, for agriculture, and there was even a component of hydro on there. So, and that was unfortunately axed. So I just simply don't get that. I think we should be building dams. We've got a dry continent, and after we build one, make some plans and build some more.
Well, we have a problem in Queensland on how to build dams. Our track record's not great, is it?
Well, maybe not, but I tell you what, just in my electorate is the Burdekin Falls Dam, and it's a cracker of a dam, and it's going all right.
Good on you. But we do need dams, but we have, we've been captured by the woke. I was going to say the Greens, but the Greens do it for the colour of money. They don't do it for the colour of the planet. Great chatting. We should do more of this. If somebody wants to find out more about you or make contact with you, have a natter about energy or your football team, I bet you I know who you follow.
Go the Cowboys!
I wonder why you follow the Cowboys. Hey, do you think you'd be empowered? Do you think you'd be an MP if you followed another side?
Probably not, but I wouldn't. I've been a supporter of the Cowboys since they first started, and I tell you what, I still think they're going all right. Okay, they lost their last game, but they won the four before that. And go Todd Payton and go the Crew. I think they're going all right.
Good on you. A message paid and provided by. But no, I think the Cowboys are great too, and I'm not a great rugby or NRL supporter. I do follow the Broncos a bit. I'm an AFL tragic.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, don't you be like that. Who do you follow? Anyone in the AFL, by the way?
No, I do not.
Don't say it so intently.
The Cowboys keep us pretty busy, and we've got a fantastic stadium in Townsville as well. You're right on the action. Yeah, it's really, really good stadium to watch the football, and people come from all over the region to come in and just enjoy it. It's a fantastic night.
Nothing better than a pie and a beer. What a terrible combination.
No, it's good for you.
It is indeed. I like this guy already. And so if somebody wants to find out more about you, they can just go to your website, which is?
Just if they just want to Google Andrew Willcox, everything will come up. So we've got a website there. We've got our office, which is located in Mackay. If I can't help you, one of our friendly team will be able to. And we're a community service organisation, so there's no wrong door policy for us. People come through the door, they want some help. We'll try to help them as best we can.
Good on you. I'd love it. Most of this is great. The Cowboys, not so great. But anyway, it's another story. Andrew Willcox MP, thank you for being a guest here on the Country Telegraph.